Yeah, just a few words about the harmonic technique I use. So, of course, Bottesini quite clearly says that when you play harmonic, they should sound, as spoke with Tom many times, they should sound just as brilliant, as powerful, as beautiful as real notes. So nothing sort of too soapy or in background. Now, the point is that I can see there once more that many times there is a mistake between of tension of bow when you play harmonic. So there is a general feeling that when you play harmonic, like I said, when you play slurred. So when I play slurred, it looks like even the left hand should be soft and soft. Well, that we saw before, that not really true. And the left hand should articulate more. So when we play harmonics as well, already they are harmonics, so we don't need to make them even more soapy of what they are. But I can see sometimes this is what's happening. So that you can't hardly hear. So when we play harmonics, we need a bit of tension of bow as well. Per esempio, there are not many harmonics. See. A little bit too fast. I'm not playing. So that you can't hear anything. So the harmonic should always. Now, Bottesini he knows, of course, in his method, he explains very well that and shows that he knows perfectly well the harmonics all over the fingerboard. He always said that in a way the natural one will sound more brighter and preferably, probably he used that one, that once. Now, I find that there is also a second type of harmonic, basically. So these are the natural ones. So it means natural that if I press the string, there is that note underneath. You see? So they are exactly where the note, the real note is. We have got an harmonic. So there are artificial ones. So when I use the thumb to block the string, I sort of create a false length of. So this is sort of artificial. But there is a third possibility that I use a lot, that is a sort of replica of the natural one. Now, I call them, to be practical with my students, I call them sort of semi-artificial, because they are not artificial or semi-natural. They are actually natural. So I'm not putting any pressure, any tension on the thumb, but in fact, if you can hear that if I move the hand, it doesn't make a glissato like the artificial. This is artificial. So I can understand if I'm practicing that type of harmonics properly, because if I move the hand, it shouldn't sound like a glissato, but it should sound like this. So you should hear the harmonics just, like little steps. So you see, it's the same. Now, to have a good knowledge of this, of course, then we have harmonics also in other points of the strings, in the first half of the. Something like that in Indemit, you've got a note passage of harmonics here. But, I mean, for instance, in Ravel uses a lot of these harmonics. They're a little tricky, but in my opinion, not everybody agrees. But I think they got a different sound than this. So he wants, I think, sometimes this particular dark sound. I remember a passage in Indemit, Peter, when he does he changed harmonic, but I'm sure it's not just because he knew that it sounded like an echo. You see, this is what. So sometimes composers, they use this different sound of the harmonics from the superior half with the inferior half of the keyboard with the musical reason, I think. But I use quite, especially on long basses. I've got two basses, two Marcucci's quite long string length. They're around 108, 109. So for me, they're quite comfortable sometimes, especially. You see, for instance, for arpeggio in the Grand Duo Bottesini, you get. Well, get better. Eccolo. You see? So I'm using sort of semi-natural or semi-artificial. They nearly, I should have done otherwise. Something I would go very high up, and also with the risk of taking the rosin on my fingers, you know, because that's a problem. Sometimes if you get too low down, then you have to clean. And the old system, I mean, what they taught me to clean up your rosin is either you touch your nose or points very fat, you know, in case that happens. I see. But always these false semi-natural, they need even an extra bit of tension. Otherwise, the resistance of the string is too much. So to make, maybe when you make an arpeggio, where, because for experience, I noticed that if you put the string in vibration on a chord of harmonics, they'll vibrate easily than if you catch the harmonic sort of without, like a gong effect. You know, when they play a gong, first of all, you start moving the gong, and then so it's already vibrates. So we know, will sound. So I saw that. So it's easier if I'm coming. Ecco. In some way they vibrate easily if you are already making an arpeggio harmonic before, and in that case I might choose the natural ones. But very often you'll see me also in performances and in videos using that's it.